Well, my name is Shauli Katana, and I'm the Director of Member Experience and Programs here at MSBA. And we have been doing these coffee talks since soon after COVID began. And we thought that it would be a nice way to stay connected with the sections. And we've been putting out a lot of content and a lot of programs. And we thought this would be a nice way to give you an update on what we've been doing at MSBA and to hear from each other and talk to you about how your section's doing. We also have a virtual networking component that we'll be adding in towards the end of this session. So we hope that you all are able to stay for that. And we'll be doing that with one of our partner organizations, Treble. And so David from Treble is here on this call today. He's waving. So to give you a little bit of background about what we've been doing at MSBA, since the COVID crisis began, we shifted very quickly to make sure we were staying engaged, that we were hearing from you, that we were supporting you. And it's been wonderful to see the many thousands of attorneys, not just members, but also non-members that have joined us in our webinars, our town halls, and our virtual meeting spaces. And we have spent time connecting with Maryland leaders such as the Maryland and the federal judiciary, where we've shared several questions and sent those out to you all in our bar journal, in our emails, in our blogs, publications. We've also been connecting with the governor's office and with the Office of Legal Counsel to understand and get answers to a lot of your questions. We continue to meet weekly with members of the largest firms here in Maryland to understand their business practices and how they are navigating the COVID emergency. And that's been very helpful in terms of also sharing information out to all of you with considerations as you think about your businesses. And we've also been working with the Maryland Chamber of Commerce and as a partner. And I'll turn now to Richard Montgomery, who is our Director of Legislative Affairs, to give us further updates on working with these groups.
Thank you, Shelley. Good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to thank the taxation section for its tremendous help on House Bill 1628 during the legislative session, which was the bill that would have repealed the exemption of legal services from the sales and use tax of the state. Your statement was tremendously helpful, and we really appreciate it. As Shelley mentioned, we've been tremendously active over the interim, the period since the legislative session started, which coincides with the onset of the pandemic. And she mentioned a couple of the activities that we've been involved with the Governor's Office of Legal Counsel. There were a couple of executive orders that the MSBA was instrumental in having developed. The first dealt with remote notarization, which basically was needed to speed up the effective date of a bill that was passed in the 2019 session that had a delayed effective date of October 1st, 2020. But because remote notarizations were going to be so really needed during a time when everyone is under a stay-at-home order, the governor issued an executive order that had the effect of speeding up that effective date. There was a similar executive order that dealt with remote witnessing, principally for estate planning documents. The one thing that you'll probably find if you've read any of the governor's executive orders is that they're generally pretty broad. So what ends up happening is when the information concerning the executive order is transmitted to the public and to our membership, there are lots and lots of questions, usually of the what if variety. So what we ended up doing was culling many of the questions from members and sort of packaging those for the Governor's Office of Legal Counsel and sending them for response. And they've been tremendously helpful in responding to those questions. We've also been involved with both the Senate and the House in terms of participating in briefings on what the courts are likely to look like once upon reopening, which is now sort of begun. We've also been involved, as Shelley mentioned, with the Maryland Chamber of Commerce COVID-19 work group, which initially dealt with programs such as the Paycheck Protection Program and the EIDL program and several other recovery efforts. And it's now turned to mechanics of reopening among various industries within the state. So we've been sort of staying on top of that as well. And of course, with recent events, there's been an examination, a closer examination of policing practices within the state. So the legislature has announced an intent to be heavily involved with those as well. And that's sort of a snapshot of where we've been over the last couple of months.
Thanks, Richard. We also have launched a COVID website that we started on March 13th to provide information and updates on the courts, on your business practice, with webinars, and with health and wellness tips. And I'll turn now to Anna Scholl, who is the Deputy Director, to give us an update on some of our publications and our most recent reopening guide.
Thanks, Shally. Good morning, everyone. So recently, we published our reopening business considerations for the legal community. That's available on our website. It's available for free to all members. And as with many of our resources right now, that resource is also available to non-members. So if you have anybody that you know that might be opening a small practice back up or a larger practice and needs some insights on some strategies to do so, please let them know and share. We also have our most recent edition of the Maryland Bar Journal available on our website. We did an all digital publication based on the release date in the middle of the pandemic. That Bar Journal is up on our website and again is accessible by both members and non-members and has a lot of good content related to Richard's work at the legislature this year as it relates to taxation of legal services, as well as some progress that we're making on the MSBA bar card to have that be accepted at various courthouses throughout Maryland. And we are currently working on our next edition of the Bar Journal. We will be releasing that in mid-September. That'll be a mailed issue like our others have been in the past. And just a small update as well, we have been really concentrating on getting digital publications out. So we've added a second weekly roundup. So we have an e-weekly newsletter that we have sent out now for about 3 years that goes out on Tuesdays. And then we have the weekly roundup that now goes out on Fridays to make sure that we're getting current information out to our members. You also may have seen that to the extent we get important announcements, especially from the judiciary, we are sending those out via our email discussion lists. So that information is getting out to our membership as soon as possible in a variety of digital ways. Because we're increasing our focus on digital publications, we are sunsetting our bar bulletin. The last publication will be the June edition, which will come out on or about June 15th. It'll be available both digitally on our website as well as mailed to all of our members. Thank you. Oh,
thanks, Anna.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize we do have, in addition to our periodicals that are available with your MSBA membership, we have several new titles in our purchasable books, including the newly released electronically stored information. You can find out about these. Obviously, the most recent editions are here on the slide, but you can always find our most recent publications on our website. Sorry, Sarah, go ahead.
Thanks, Anna. I'll turn now to Andrea Terry, our Director of Learning, to give us an update on the webinars that we've been producing.
Thanks, Shally. Good morning, everyone. As Shally mentioned, in late March, we started doing COVID-related webinars. Obviously, a lot of unexpected impact on multiple practice areas surfaced almost immediately. Since the end of March, we've done almost 30 webinars. About a dozen sections have stepped up to help provide that content. The tax section has done 3. We've got another one with the tax section and Glenn Frost's firm in 2 weeks. So a couple a month, basically, since we started doing this campaign at the end of March. So we're very grateful for the tax section support of this effort. We've had more than 17,000 attorneys participate and take part in these webinars between the live events and the on-demand consumption. So obviously we're addressing some critical issues for lawyers across Maryland. And like I said, about a dozen sections have provided 1, 2, and 3 webinars apiece. since we've started this campaign. We've also made our on-demand CLE catalog free through the end of this month. And so that's 150 plus programs across practice areas, and it's accredited with the surrounding MCLE states. So we were happy to step up during the crunch of the pandemic to provide that. And so we hope many of you have taken part in that. We're also repurposing our annual meeting content. Some of that programming is going to be rolled out. It started this week. Actually, yesterday we had our inaugural event. It's called our Legal Summit Series. We had almost 80 educational programs planned for you in Ocean City. Once the pandemic caused us to cancel the annual meeting, we decided to try and get that content out to our members. And so you'll be seeing Legal Summit Series programs being marketed throughout the summer. So we've been busy and we appreciate the section's support.
Thanks, Andrea. Anna, could I ask you to give an update about Legal Excellence Week, which we're planning for the fall?
Sure thing. So we are in the works with finalizing the venue as well as some of the other partner organizations for Legal Excellence Week. We plan to have this the same week as Advanced Tax Institute and fold that into Legal Excellence Week as well. So we're excited about that. The dates right now are November 9th through 13th. As I mentioned, it will be ATI as well as some of our other larger institutes, including the Advanced Business Law Institute, Advanced Estate Planning Institute, our Solo and Small Firm Summit, as well as our Conference of Bar Presidents. So wrapping a lot of our larger institutes, additional events under the umbrella of Legal Excellence Week. So that should be finalized, and the announcement for that will be official during our virtual annual meeting, which will be holding on June 30th.
Thank you. I'll turn to Lisa Kaplan, who's director of our Lawyer Assistance Program, to give us an update on what she's been up to.
Good morning, everyone. So health and wellness has been a big thing. It's really important to take a step back and take care of yourself. So on our COVID page, you can find a button that says health and wellness, and that will take you to a lot of resources that we have put together. We have everything from home workouts to yoga, to the tip of the day, online classes, emergency services. So take a few minutes to take care of yourself and check that out. And also we have Fit Friday. So tomorrow, Shally is going to be doing a yoga class for us at 12 o'clock. So join us for that. It should be a lot of fun. And don't forget about the Lawyer Assistance Program. It is free, it's confidential. It's a counseling program. It is able to help with a variety of problems. It is not just a substance abuse program. We have a network of counselors throughout the state who can work with you. So when we're able to, when you're comfortable leaving your home, you can meet with someone in person, you can meet with them virtually, however you're comfortable doing that. If you are ever concerned about someone, you can call me and make a referral and talk with me about what's going on, what your concerns are. You are not going to get them in trouble. It does not go to attorney grievance. You may end up saving someone's life. So if you feel that someone is in danger, please give me a call. You can be completely anonymous. No one will know that you have actually made that call. We also have financial assistance for mental health and substance abuse treatment. So that can help if you are in weekly counseling and you're having a hard time paying for that. That can help with that. It can help to meet with a psychiatrist. It can help to go to inpatient or outpatient substance abuse treatment. So don't let the financial restraints be a concern for you. We can definitely help with that. And it is for all lawyers in Maryland. So if you have any questions, please reach out. I'd love to talk with you. Thanks.
Thanks, Lisa. We've also been working with our partner entity, Access to Justice, and they've been very active since the COVID crisis began. They also have a COVID page that they have as a resource, not only for civil legal aid organizations, but also for the public on critical issues that are impacted by COVID, like immigration, domestic violence, landlord-tenant claims, and they continue to provide updates there. They are launching a task force today with the Attorney General's office because of these COVID efforts. We've shared some of that information with you all in our e-weekly and our website and Access to Justice's website. And as the task force continues to develop, we will share additional updates. And they continue to work with civil legal aid organizations and think through funding issues. and disaster legal services. And we're really thankful for those of you that have joined us in the renewal season, which we started in May. I did want to let everyone know about a new membership option that we have, which is our Passport program. And the Passport program not only covers your dues for the year, but also provides membership to one section, gives you access to our on-demand catalog, which we are in the process of updating. And there's a lot of really good content there that you can continue to take advantage of if you're a Passport member. And it will also provide access to next year's annual meeting and legal summit, and to other events such as the Solo and Small Firm Summit and to parts of Legal Excellence Week. So it's a really great value, and we hope that you're able to take a look at that and consider that for the upcoming year. And as always, you can provide any feedback to us. We would love to hear from all of you, and we are really thankful to see such a nice turnout from this section today. As I said, we've been rolling this out to several sections, and I think we've had now over 400 people that have joined us for this today, for these sessions. And what I'd like to do now, I know we have Liz Shaner on the call. So I'll turn over to Liz just to give a little bit of an update on the section and maybe to tell us a little bit about how things are going for you.
Thanks. So the section has been, I think, doing surprisingly well dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic that has really halted our interactions in person, which we're used to and which is a real benefit of the MSBA. The council had a pretty busy year leading up to the pandemic. We've amended our bylaws to allow law students to be members for free. As associate members of the MSBA, they can join our section for free. We're excited for the future of the section in those regards and try to introduce more people to the breadth of a tax law practice. I also want to thank Glenn Frost and other members of the section who were very proactive in getting content out on some of the new laws that have been passed, federal and state level. I think that that's been a great benefit that we can offer to our section members. And then, unfortunately, we weren't able to have some of our large in-person meetings that we usually have in May. So we'll be pushing those off possibly till the fall or next spring. And it's at least been nice to be able to do things like this through Zoom with the MSBA to try to stay connected and involved. I have a couple other section members, council members who are on the call. I'm not sure if they want to add anything to what I've said, but I also want to thank all of the council members for their hard work this year. Janice Shee, who leads our pro bono efforts, Melinda Dunmeyer, who has been very active and kind of reinvigorated our legislative committee this year and engaged with some of the other sections on that for common legislation. And we also had a great networking event in November, the Tax Professionals Networking Night, where we engage not only attorneys, but non-attorneys who practice tax. And we had a great Opportunity Zone forum webinar that we were able to record that. And I don't remember if it was offered live, but MSBA helped us record that and make it available for consumption later. So we're doing our best to shift to what the new normal is. Hopefully some of our study groups that meet regularly throughout the year will, embrace a more web-based format so that everybody can continue to access that great content. That's something that we're going to be working towards in the coming year.
Thanks, Liz. I see Janice, you're here on the call. Did you want to provide any updates or just do a check-in with this team and let us know how you're doing?
Sure. Hey, good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining in. So I want to thank Liz for her great leadership this past year, and I'm looking forward to the new leadership coming in and working with that and continuing to move things forward. I am the co-chair of the Pro Bono Committee, and just want to let everybody know that our organization, Maryland Volunteer Lawyer Service, is continuing to be up and running and operating as normal. So still taking on clients, still looking for volunteers to assist with pro bono clients. So I see a couple of familiar names on the call. So thank you for being volunteers. And for those of you who are not, we certainly welcome you to join our volunteer panel. Thanks.
Thanks, Janice. And I know we have Glenn Frost here on the call as well, the incoming chair. Glenn, could I turn to you to give us a little bit of an update on some of the programs, the wonderful programs that you've put together, and talk about some of the content that's come out and what we can look forward to in the next year?
Sure, absolutely. So a lot of our programs have been geared towards the Paycheck Protection Program, as well as EIDL loans and some of the state programs that were available. We have another update coming on the 25th of this month, where we'll discuss basically the expansion of forgiveness for the Paycheck Protection Program.
Great. And Glenn, do you want to talk a little bit about what you're thinking for the year? I know some things are in flux as we're waiting to see what happens, but for the people, for the benefit of everyone that's on the call, what you're thinking in terms of going forward.
Sure. So going forward, there's a couple of things. Hopefully we'll have the opportunity to present at Legal Excellence Week. We'll work with the section to determine what the best items are to present there. Going forward as well, I think the mission is going to be more interaction with other tax practitioners. So I would like to interact more with the MACPA tax section and kind of bring the bar and the accountants together.
Wonderful. And I know we have a lot of folks on the call. I know some people are calling in, so I'm not able to see everyone. But we really would like to open this up to the group here just to see how everyone's doing, how your practice is, how you're doing personally. Really just to say hello to this group and maybe talk about any issues that are coming up in your practice. And really, I just open the floor up for that. So feel free to unmute and jump in. We also have a chat box that is available. If you have any questions at all, you can feel free to post in there as well. And I don't see, Angela, I don't see any questions yet. Is that right?
No, I don't see anything either.
Okay. We do have a message from Ruth Herman, who's saying that she's new and it's nice to be here. Hi, Ruth. Nice to see you. I'm definitely in the category of people that wave on Zoom calls, I will proudly say, and own that. Maybe you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got connected to join us today.
Hi, thank you. I'm Ruthie Herman. Hello, Dr. Shi. I'm a brand new law school graduate. I'm getting sworn in over the phone on June 16th.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm interested in pro bono tax work. And that's all there is. And thank you. I'm looking forward to this, working with this section.
Great. And maybe you could tell us a little bit, I mean, because this is the forum for that, what your experience has been like since COVID began and kind of as you've gone through the last couple of months, what that's been like for you and what you're thinking for the summer.
Well, thank you. I've been very blessed. I'm in a clerkship with Baltimore City Circuit Court judge, and we telework. And so, I took the bar right when COVID, right when the lockdown, right before the lockdown, and I've been teleworking. And my clerkship ends in August, so I'm looking forward to hanging up a shingle and helping out however I can. So my experience hasn't, again, I've been very blessed. So my experience probably hasn't been like the rest of the section.
Well, that's great to hear that you've been able to continue your work. And this is certainly, a great group a very active email list, and it's just a lot of resources that are available here and from the MSBA, I would say, if there's anything you need as you head into the fall. So thanks for sharing.
Thanks.
There's a question here from, and David is saying congratulations, of course. From Randall Borden, there's a question here saying if anyone at the IRS or Maryland Tax is answering the phone for tax negotiations. And I'd open it up to the group if anyone here has any insight or feedback they can provide for Randall.
I would say I'm with the IRS Office of Chief Counsel in the Baltimore Small Business Self-Employed Division. So as far as the IRS is concerned, they're still working cases. I think that they're turning the phones on back for some of the hotline numbers. But if you have an active case where you have either a revenue officer or a revenue agent assigned, or if your case is with the chief counsel's office at this point, everyone is still working and available to address cases at whatever state they're in. So.
Thanks, Liz. I also see a message from Colleen Prosser asking if we can answer the above question, but I don't see anything listed above that chat, Colleen. So if you're on the phone or if you're calling in, can you either post the question or just speak to the group now, and we'd be glad to chat.
Good morning. When Lisa was talking, she was talking about financial assistance for attorneys for mental health issues. And I was just wondering if that's available for our non-attorney staff members. Because I mean, they're going through probably more than we are, I would think. They have a lot of challenges that are different than ours. So that was my question.
Okay. Do we know if Lisa's still on the call here, Angela?
No, it doesn't look like she's still here.
And if not, Colleen, we will get a response for you on that question.
Thank you.
And again, I'd open it up if anyone else has any other questions. Feel free to post in the chat, but we also are happy to just have a discussion here with this group in terms of how your work is going or just how you've been feeling. Really, this is the opportunity for that. And if you have any questions for us here at MSBA or any suggestions for what else we could be doing to support you, that's really what we want to be here for. Janice wants to know, David, where you are. So you have a good background there.
My beach house, yeah, just lounging. No, this is just a virtual background. This is Cyprus.
Very nice. This would have been our week to be in Ocean City, so it's nice to see some water somewhere. And while we're just waiting to see if anyone has any other comments, I wonder, David, if you'd like to just give a little bit of background about the platform that you're providing with Treble and just have a little bit of discussion. And then maybe we can wait for a moment to see if anyone else has questions after that before we break out into the group, since
great.
we certainly want to give people that time.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is David Gertler. I'm CEO and co-founder of Treble. Treble is a business networking platform, and in a few moments, we're actually going to experience it, and hopefully it's going to be a really great experience for everybody. But before we do that, just want to give everybody who's not yet familiar with Treble a quick overview. For business networking groups like the Maryland State Bar Association that are looking for ways to build a stronger, more altruistic business networking community, we provide tons of tools and resources. And then for individuals like yourselves, we provide a platform that allows you to help build long-term, mutually beneficial and valuable business networking relationships. Many people typically ask us, hey, what's the difference between Treble and LinkedIn? LinkedIn is a fine platform. Many people use LinkedIn as more of a marketing tool, self-promotion. Hey, look at me, look at my company. We just did this. We just won that award. And we view networking as really building long-term, mutually beneficial and valuable business relationships to the point where I know somebody, they want to help me, I want to help them. We exchange business opportunities, leads, clients, things like that. So that's really the focus of what we're about. The way we do it, we have a lot of tools in the platform. This morning, we'll be using just one of those tools, Treble Time, or we refer to it also as Meeting Manager. And the way we do this is we'll give everybody 30 seconds to introduce themselves and get a quick overview, right? So if you think about when you attend a networking meeting, you typically walk up to the same people that you've already known, and you say, hey, how's it going? You do the small talk thing, and you don't really go past that surface. And that's just a lost opportunity. Plus, there are a tremendous number of people in the room that you might not know. And how do you find out, what is this person about? Is there a way that they can help me? Is there something I can do for them? So by answering 3 questions very quickly, what is your background? How can you help others? And how can others help you? We call those wishes. You really expose these opportunities to really network and unlock great potential opportunities. And ultimately, it's about creating this multiplier effect. If you help other people, they're going to want to help you in return. And then all of a sudden, you've got a number of people who are out there actively keeping their eyes and ears open for things that are applicable for you. During the introductions, which will start off in a moment or two, I encourage everybody, listen actively as people are introducing themselves. We'll try to keep it really brief, answer 3 questions, look for ways, look for reasons, look for people that you want to help, you want to connect to, you want to ask a question of, or people that you might be able to help. I like old-fashioned, paper and pencil, but in our app, you also have the ability to take notes. The real magic happens after the call. So follow up. We encourage you after the call to reach out to that person who said, hey, I'm looking for an intern. I'm looking for advice. I'm looking for a mentor, whatever it is. Share your success stories. If somebody helped you, let other people know, let us know, let Shally and the leadership of MSBA know. We want to help create this expectation that everybody's helping each other. And the best way to do that is to highlight these success stories. If you haven't already updated your Treble profile or you're having problems, that's okay. This is a long-term thing, right? So the first time going through it might feel a little awkward, but after you've done this for a lot of times, it's so easy, so convenient, and it's incredibly powerful. So if you have any problems, let me know. I'll provide some information in the chat box. And then the last piece of advice really is, help others. One of the most powerful things that you can do is, rather than say, hey, I need X, it's asking people, what can I do for you? And by helping other people, they naturally want to reciprocate. And that was one of the great lessons that I learned early in my career. Rather than saying, hey, I'm looking for a job, I'm looking for a speaking engagement, I'm looking for X, I would ask people, hey, what are you looking for? What can I do for you? And simply by asking those questions, there were times where I can make great connections for people, or just genuinely, I was perceived very sincerely. And so people naturally wanted to help me, and that helped propel my career forward. So that's a quick overview of what Treble's about. Before we get started, Shally, did you have any other questions that you wanted to cover?
Thanks, David, for that introduction. And what I'd like to stress is that this is not a new relationship. It's relatively new. We started it towards the end of last year with Treble. So you may have received some emails already talking about the platform, but it's something that's part of your membership. And as an MSBA member, you can sign up for the premium account with the code. And we provided that in the invite to this today, and we'll provide it again afterwards. So if you haven't set up your profile, you can feel free to do so. And I think especially in this COVID and post-COVID world, as we're trying to navigate how we stay connected and how we, either grow our business or just have peer support, or want to continue learning in a certain area, this is a great tool to do that, because it's very open-ended in terms of how you can help others and what you're looking for. So being as specific as possible, or being general and just seeing, what comes in through the net, it's a really great opportunity. So we do plan to continue these events. And our hope is that as you continue to use the platform and do these introductions, you can just add to your profile and get an even better experience.
All right. So I'll kick things off. And everybody who, and I'm going to try my best to keep people kind of on time. You'll see in the top right, there's a little shot clock, 30 seconds, and the screen will actually flash and dim out my profile at the end of 30 seconds. The time, it's a guideline. We want people to find this productive, but obviously respect everybody else's time on the call as well. I'll try in between people to, in the chat box, indicate who's coming up next. And I'm just basically going off the list of the faces that I see in the Zoom window. So I'm just going to try to type a first name or something like that, just so you have a sense. But let's kick it off. I'll get it started. 30 seconds or less. Hi, I'm David Gertler. I've got 30 years experience in software and technology. I was a crypto mathematician for NSA. I've got great stories I can't tell anybody. How I can help others. I was highly introverted, and I went through a tremendous morphing of my own personality to help other people and learn to network. So if I can help you in any way, learn to network, be more effective, please let me know. One wish, I'm looking to meet angel investors in Treble, and I'm also, second wish is I'm looking for business networking groups that might be interested in using Treble. And thank you very much. I'm going to start with Charles Ray, and then I'll type up the next person in the chat box. Charles, you ready? Charles, you have to unmute.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to talk and share my background. I have been in law for over 20 years. I was formerly with the Office of Chief Counsel IRS for 8 years. Our primary focus is controversy at federal, state, and local levels. And we are interested in obviously expanding our networking platforms and networking more enthusiastically than pre-COVID, and I look forward to working with everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, Charles. Great job. By the way, your audio was a little choppy, by the way, so just FYI. Next up.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, but I've noticed that too.
Thank you. Next up, we'll do Shaoli.
Thanks. So I joined the MSBA in January of this year as a director, and prior to that, I spent about a decade as a practicing family law attorney in the state of Maryland. What I'm looking for is any sort of additional member benefits that we could add to our MSBA portfolio, and especially given COVID, anything that can really help people to stay connected. I'm also hopeful that as people receive their renewals this year, that they can just go online and continue to support the MSBA. How I can help others. I am here to take any feedback and any suggestions from members about what would create a better experience for you. And also, if you have any ideas for our upcoming programs for the summer and fall, would love to hear from you.
Great, thank you. Next up, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, since and many people don't have a profile filled out, and that's fine. We've got this blank member guest. So Elizabeth, when you're ready, unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone. So my background is that I've been practicing tax controversy, I guess, since 2011. I was in private practice for almost 5 years before joining the IRS Office of Chief Counsel, Small Business Self-Employed Division in Baltimore. I've been with the tax council and the tax section for, I guess, almost 9 years now. So I have lots of insights there, and I just wish to help other members get the most benefit out of the MSBA and out of the tax section as possible, and any resources I can be with respect to my position at IRS. So.
Great. Thank you very much. Next up, Colleen. Colleen, are you ready?
I'm ready. So I'm been an attorney for 30 years. This is my first meeting, and I'm also an introvert. So how I can help others, I do estate planning. I have a lot of experience with inheritance taxes. So if you have any questions with that, and what I would need help with is higher level federal and state income tax issues.
Great, great. First person to go under their allotted time. So
that's the introvert, right?
I identify. So thank you. All right, Janice, are you ready? Unmute. You have to unmute, Janice.
There we go. Thanks. Too many buttons. So
I know. I hear you, especially this early in the morning, right?
yeah, I'm not a morning person. So, so thank you everyone for being so patient. So good morning. So my name is Janice Shee, and I'm director of the Low Income Taxpayer Clinic at Maryland Volunteer Lawyer Service. Which is an organization that provides pro bono assistance for most civil legal issues, including tax controversy. So that's what I do. So how can I help others? So MVLS is a great, it has a huge connection of attorneys as well as CPAs and enrolled agents throughout the state. And so we have many networking opportunities, and we also offer a lot of free training. So it's a great way to meet and connect with other people through these experiences. So my wishes would be to get more volunteers. You know, we have a constant stream of clients who need assistance, especially now. You know, this is a very difficult time for people who are stable, but especially for our client population, it's tremendously stressful and very difficult to navigate. So my wish is for more volunteers.
Great. Hey, can you be more specific? What type of volunteer, what skill set do they need?
They need to have some familiarity with tax controversy. All of my clients have tax controversy issues. And so we're looking for volunteers who feel comfortable in tax controversy. And if you don't feel comfortable or would like to increase your knowledge, we have lots of trainings, including with members of the Tax Council. We also have mentors available, again, with many members of the section who have lots of experience and can help walk you through a case. It's a good way to learn.
Great. Thank you. Good job. Angela, you ready?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Angela Monroe, and I'm the Section Committee Administrator for the Maryland State Bar. I've been here for almost 13 years. I think it's October 13. I don't have any wishes set up, but I am here to help sections and committees with their event planning, listservs, getting content on their website or on their section page.
Great. Thank you. All right. Ruthie, how about yourself? You ready?
Sure, but I think I said it all. That's all there is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Sorry. Andrea.
Good morning again, everyone. My name is Andrea Terry. I've been with the Bar Association for 10 years. I've been in professional development and adult learning for more than 20. I've been a lawyer for 26 years. And I guess a wish would be faculty for a specific fall program that we're having on the new remote notary law that we're having difficulty pinning down. I'm not sure this section might be able to directly suggest, but you might have a colleague.
Awesome. Hey, say, and you had mentioned that exact same thing on Tuesday, and I said I know somebody, and here's a challenge that I have. You know, I don't know your email. So if you post that wish on Treble, if you update your profile and post that wish, I can easily make the introduction, and I'm happy to do that. There's a lawyer in Baltimore that works for Saul Ewing, and she might be interested in helping out. She, as I mentioned the other day, I needed something notarized, and she was telling me about all the legislation and all the different things that were going on. So happy to make the introduction. If you do post that wish, it makes it super easy for me to help you.
You got it. Thanks, David.
Thank you. Anna?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anna Scholl. I've been with the MSBA now for a little over 2.5 years. I'm the current Deputy Executive Director. I came from private practice, most recently at Pest and Cats Law in Towson. My wish is that I'm always looking for content for our MSBA Bar Journal and our website. So if you have an idea for an article, resource, checklist, or tool, that's what I would like to have in any practice area or on law firm management. And how I can help is I have a lot of connections to many other lawyers from in a variety of practice areas in a lot of places around the states. I'm happy to connect you with a mentor if that's what you're looking for, or if you are looking for somebody that can assist on a matter, I can help in that way.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Sarah?
Hi. So I do not have it set up yet. I've been an attorney for a little under 5 years now. This is my first tax section meeting, so I'm excited. I worked as an estate tax attorney for the comptroller for 2 years, and now I've been with Bloomberg Tax and Accounting for a little over 2 years now. I do a lot of pro bono estate planning and tax, and I do trainings with pro bono groups on estate planning and tax considerations there. And I have a very small firm that is mostly just helping friends. Figured I should set up an actual entity. And I am interested in just connections with really anybody in tax and estate planning. I think Ruthie and I are the newest members, so.
Awesome. Congratulations and welcome. Andrea Terry?
Just went, David.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's funny. It's like, I apologize. It looks like my Zoom windows are like jumping around on me, so it's like.
No worries.
Yep, sorry. Hey, Doris, you ready?
Hi, David.
Hey. All right. Got you right here. Go.
There we go. Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Doris Barnes. I'm the section and committee advisor with the Maryland State Bar Association. And one of the sections that I work with is the senior lawyers section. And that is for anyone over the age of 55. And we are looking to expand and add to and enhance that section to address the needs of older attorneys, whether it's in transitioning or adding to your practice or grooming someone to come in and join your practice. So if you're over the age of 55, please join the senior lawyers section. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Stephanie, you've raised your hand.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Smith, and I'm new to this section and new to MSBA. I initially started at the U.S. Department of Agriculture as the attorney tax advisor for the cooperatives program of rural development. From there, I've been in private practice, and I primarily work in the real estate development practice area, and real estate tax. My specialty area is opportunity zones, and I have done volunteer work with Janet, and I'm really excited to continue doing that. I'm also interested in working with attorneys in the tax space, in real estate taxation in particular, and those who have been in a small practice or solo practice for over 10 years, since I'm new at this and would still like to get a mentor.
Great, awesome. And I think Randall might be the last person. Randall? You're on mute. Randall, can you hear us?
David, I think he's posting in the chat.
Yeah, there he goes. Oh, there he goes. No video. Okay, Randall is saying, right, attorney for 30 years, office in Fairfax City, Virginia, bankruptcy, family, trust, estates, and course tax. I've done volunteer work, and unfortunately, he has no video and possibly no microphone. Do you have a specific wish, something that you're looking for, Randall? Something that maybe somebody on the call might be able to help you with? All right. Did I leave anybody out? And again, I apologize for jumping. Just keep mentoring tax. Tears. All right. So with that, if you haven't had a chance to fill out your profile, if you have any questions or issues, I'm going to put into the chat some information, first my name and other information that would help. We've got tons of YouTube videos that do tutorials, and the tutorials are 30 seconds to a minute and a half. So they're real easy to zip through, everything from creating profiles and making wishes and helping others, etc. We encourage you to think of this as a long-term investment in terms of getting to know people, looking for ways to make connections. As I mentioned earlier, and I have that in my final slide, make sure you follow up, right? Look for ways to help other people who mention something. Now you have just a brief introduction of all these people, and their profiles are on Treble. So once you create your profile, you'll be able to look through the MSBA channel in Treble and flip through and find other people. And we have a tremendous number of search and sort and filter capabilities. So you can easily find different people with similar backgrounds or interests, look up their backgrounds, give them a call, follow up, ask questions, see what you can do to help others. You can use the app to actually fulfill wishes, as I mentioned a few moments ago. In the app, it's sort of like doing an email. You just say, I want to introduce person A to person B, type a quick reason why, click go, and it sends out not only in the app, it also sends out via email. So even if the person's not on the platform, you can still help them. You can still make those introductions. Don't forget what I mentioned about the power of reciprocity. That's been an incredible influence in my life. The more I help others, I just feel good about myself, but I also know in the back of my head that people are likely to reciprocate. They want to be able to help me and return the favor. And there's a book by Adam Grant called Give and Take. If you've ever heard that book or read the book, just give me a thumbs up. But one of the things he discovered, he's a Wharton professor, and he discovered that 80% of business professionals are scorekeepers. 80% of us keep track in the back of our mind. You know, I've done 3 things for you and you've only done 1 thing for me. You kind of owe me a favor here, or I owe you a favor. You brought in this tremendous new client for me. Our app actually has a goodwill graph that allows you to track who's helped you the most, who do you need to repay favors to, and then with a click of a button, you find exactly what they're looking for, and then you're able to help them. We have a success story button, so you can click on it and say, hey, this person helped me. I want to give them a special little shout out. Unlike LinkedIn, which is more about self-promotion, the way you get recognition on Treble is by helping others. And we've done that deliberately because we want to try to inspire people to reach out, to help other people, make those connections, offer them insights, help them find an intern or a board appointment or a new client or what have you. And then with that, I'll turn it over to Shally, and then I'm going to put some information in the chat box. Shally, it's all yours.
Thanks, David. And what we really like about this platform, it gives us a way to really just quickly hear a little bit about everybody that's on the call. And we certainly are happy to give information and updates, but it's really nice to hear from each of you about what you're looking for and what skills you have. And I can already think of some connections that that could be made here between Ruthie and some other people on here. So we'll certainly follow up with that. And as we continue going into the summer, we would love to host this kind of gathering again for this section. And as we've done in other sections, sometimes we'll bring in the speaker, but it's more of a Q&A and kind of a more interactive session. So we're happy to work with Glenn and Liz to do something like that if you think it would be helpful. And as always, please reach out to us. Let us know how you're doing, what we can do to support you. And I'll leave it open for just a couple more minutes here if anyone else has any feedback on this or just wants to share any other thoughts. And I know Doris posted while we were doing the Treble introductions a list of IRS contacts that the consumer bankruptcy section put together. So for anyone that had questions about contacts in that office, please click through and you should be able to see that information.
This is Elizabeth. I took a quick look at that list. Like it says, it's an informal list with just some of the contacts. The tax section has prepared a tax practitioner handbook for a couple of years now, and it has contact information for a variety of offices and or individuals at IRS, comptroller's office, and other relevant tax entities. I think it's available on our website for section members. If it's not, we'll make sure that we have the most up-to-date one posted up there electronically.
Thanks, Liz.
And thank you, David, for the great introduction to Treble. It's a really great tool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. We'll stay on for just a few more minutes if anyone else wants to keep chatting. But I think we've covered everything for the session. And we will communicate out when we'll have the next get together. And, we may also be doing these virtual meetings, not just section specific, but to the broader MSBA community. So we'll make sure to let you all know about that, which will provide another opportunity to just stay connected, maybe to people in other jurisdictions or other practice sectors. So it was really nice to see all of you this morning, and I hope you have a great day and a good rest of your week.